Hello everybody and welcome to the Import-Export Hub channel weekly newsreel. Bogdan here, your not so boring host for the next couple of minutes. Guys, I hope that you are all doing great, and without losing too much precious time here with lengthy intros, let's start with the quiz question for this week, which goes like this. Who was Paraguay's largest export destination in 2021? And the options here are Argentina, Chile, or Brazil. And guys, the correct answer is Brazil with some $3.5 billion worth of exports, of which, by the way, $1.4 billion, so more than a third, were electrical energy exports. And with this really precious piece of information you've just gained, let's see together how the Freightos index did last week. And we see together that the general index was down 5%, which brings it to $8,236, with big volatility on the lanes connecting North America East Coast to North Europe, was up 6%, and China to North America West Coast, who was down 12%. As for the main head hauls, as usual, I will start with the Trans-Pacific ones, and we have $12,512 for the sub-index connecting China to North America West Coast, and $15,982 for the one connecting China to North America East Coast, which was down 6%. As for the crossways ones, we have a pretty stable sub-index for the one connecting China to North Europe, so $10,565. And we have a 1% increase, so $12,632 for the one connecting China to the Mediterranean. So quite big changes in the last couple of weeks, big volatility here, at least for the trade lanes connecting China and East Asia to both coasts of North America. But even with all this volatility, I don't think that the bubble is going to burst anytime soon, because we have the Chinese authorities preparing to gradually open up Shanghai in the coming week. We have backlogs which need to be fulfilled. The carriers' capacity management is in place, and most probably the index will somehow stabilize in the coming weeks around the 8K mark. And I don't know, guys, if you want to see freights around the 4K mark, we need some kind of structural shift in terms of sourcing, of course, coming from the multinationals, coupled with new policies and regulations regarding competition, alliances, and consortia in the container shipping. And personally, I think that we're going to witness new forms of alliances with newer and better ways of tracking the concentration index. But we have to wait until the first quarter of 2024 in order to see together if this will become a reality or not. Anyways, a lot of uncertainties and certainly a lot of variables at play in the ocean freight market. It's an educated guess from my side, so treat the info provided with caution. And without anything else to add in terms of freight market, I will cover the first news coming from dailysaba.com, and it's about the Turkish exports for the first quarter of 2022. Who seemed to have remained quite strong, driven by the robust demand coming from the traditional trading partners. The manufacturing export climate index rose as well above the 50 mark, which basically separates the growth from contraction. And we have big demand coming from more or less regional partners like Italy, Spain, France, and the Netherlands, while the exports towards Germany shrunk in tandem with the German economy, who shrunk as well. We have other important export zones like the United States and the United Kingdom, who grew as well, although it somehow lost momentum, according to the author of this article. The exports towards the Middle East zone grew also, with Qatar having the strongest expansion. And guys, with all the inflation taking place in Turkey and consequently a weaker Turkish lira, These, if you ask me, are two key ingredients in somehow trying to capture labor-intensive jobs from Asia and Southeast Asia in the nearshoring pursuit of the European companies, at least. And again, it's a personal opinion, but my guess is that if both the public and the private sectors in Turkey play this card well, they will gain a lot of business in the next couple of years. And guys, with this first news being covered, I'll now move on to my second one. It's coming from maritimeexecutive.com, and it's about CMA CGM's initiative towards the US shippers for early container returns as a measure to accelerate the return of empty containers with the goal of providing greater equipment access to US exporters. And here, guys, you have to consider the context in which the Federal Maritime Commission is pressuring the foreign car carriers in terms of capacity or, I don't know, available equipment. So no wonder this move is more or less, if you ask me, intended to be a PR one, because let's face it, $300 credit that CMA is offering if the container is returned within 4 days is really peanuts. Personally, I don't think that they care that much about the US exporters, and of course this is true for all the shipping lines, but most probably CMA CGM does care about how the US authorities and the Federal Maritime Commission in particular perceives them. And I don't know, with this kind of proactive approach, I think that they have the best PR office in the entire container shipping community. So that's a simple and effective way to try and buy indulgences, if you want, from the Federal Maritime Commission and the US exporters. And let's not forget, guys, behind all these alliances or consortia, where buzzwords like capacity management or synchronism are the norm, there are a lot of individualistic behaviors, and there is a lot of ego as well. But anyways, I'm not here to feel pity about the shipping for the shipping lines, so I will move on to my third and last news. Bear with me, it's coming from supplychaindev.com, and it involves Levi Strauss and its long-term shift away from sourcing in China, which helped protect the retailer from Shanghai lockdown and its consequent disruptions, as the executive said in the Q1 earnings call last month. In fact, according to them, for the US market, less than 1% of their products are coming from China. And if you ask me, the volumes from China were redirected towards Sri Lanka, which by the way is right now is in really big trouble. Maybe India, Cambodia, Vietnam, or the Philippines, while for the European market, most probably Romania and Turkey are the main manufacturing hubs. And if you ask me, this is the way towards the new global supplier base, countries who have a clear competitive advantage in terms of wages, with a big pool of skilled or semi-skilled people, good logistics performance, and I will add here, located in a friendly zone with some kind of economic and political stability. And guys, if we were to look globally, there are not that many countries able to fulfill these requirements at once, besides, of course, the ones that I've previously mentioned. And maybe I will add a couple of countries in Central America and North Africa. So these are the locations available right now if you want. On the other hand, on the long term, I think that East Africa will gain a share, but only if the Chinese companies are going to rev up the manufacturing activities there. So that's that about the article coming from supplychaindive.com. That's all for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that you've liked it. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe buttons. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.